Now, if any of you are here tonight because you were told that you would be in for a night of fun, smart, free, well-researched comedy lecture on the art of movie trailers, you will identify with this next segment because by now you've probably come to the realisation the only thing that was actually true about that idea was that it's free. And even then, you still have to pay for the drinks.
That's right. So in this segment, we are talking about misleading movie trailers. So if any of you have been to the cinema, you see a trailer, and maybe you say to yourself,
Wow, I really think M. Night Shyamalan has got his groove back. That movie, The Happening, looks really scary.
or,
You know what? We should take the kids out to a fun family movie. Pan's Labyrinth looks like a winner.
then you know that a trailer's greatest crime isn't revealing too much of the plot, it's revealing too much of the plot for an entirely different film.
Yes, which is why we've decided to call this segment, These Aren't the Trailers You're Looking For. Now, certainly the most common area in which misleading trailers happen is actually in foreign films. You see movies like Hero or Night Watch, they flog these to Western audiences, and you'll often notice there's actually no dialogue in them at all. It's their way of convincing Western people to buy a ticket because they don't think there'll be trailers, they don't think they'll have subtitles to be
No
read.
reading.
No reading.
Words. That's right. Or maybe if Quentin Tarantino or Luc Besson is presenting a movie, it means they wrote and directed it as well, which leads a lot of people to believe Guillermo del Toro is the busiest man in Hollywood.
But it's not just the non-English speaking world that scares off moviegoers. Some genres can be really difficult to promote as well. For example, let's have a look at this trailer.
This is the tale of an ordinary man who had everything
Barker, his name was. Benjamin Barker.
until a man of power stole his freedom, destroyed his family, and banished him
May the Lord have mercy on your soul.
for life. And in his sorrow, a new man was born.
15 years dreaming I might come home to a wife and child.
Benjamin Barker.
No Barker. Sweeney Todd now. And he will have his revenge. Where's my wife?
She's gone. And he's got your daughter.
Judge Turpin.
You got to leave this all behind you now.
No. These are desperate times. And desperate measures are called for. How about a shave?
Benjamin Barker, yes. All right, so has anyone
The worst
seen...
British accent from a British person ever.
Has anyone seen the movie belonging to that trailer? Can I just get a shout?
Unfortunate people.
Okay, that's fairly loud. So, all right, in that case, you'll know this is the movie, this is the trailer for Sweeney Todd, the opera. And by opera, I do, of course, mean something with less spoken dialogue than Helen Keller's childhood. The entire thing
It's still
is...
too soon.
How is it too soon for Helen Keller? The entire thing is sung, a point which the trailer very carefully avoids. In fact, a case was brought against it to the Advertising Standards Bureau in the UK for this trailer being willfully misleading.
Yeah, look, Sweeney Todd is bad, but I don't think it's the worst. Have a look at this. This is the trailer for a movie called Bridge to Terabithia.
Race to the end of the road. On your mark, set, go. Leslie! Leslie! You're not gonna believe this.
That's impossible. What do we call this place?
Terabithia.
This winter, when you go looking for adventure, be prepared to find more than you ever imagined. Bridge to Terabithia.
Wow. Okay, so the trailer basically sells you a movie set in a magical kingdom where two plucky kids go off and find a bunch of Narnia clones, which is exactly what happens if you replace magical kingdom with boring country town and Narnia clones with child abuse and a girl drowning in a swamp. Everything you just saw there pretty much came from what is the equivalent of a dream sequence that has little or no impact on the plot whatsoever.
So, Sweeney Todd's bad, Terabithia is a little bit worse, but probably the best example, or the worst, of a misleading trailer comes from our own backyard. Now, this is the trailer from Kangaroo Jack. It's about a pair of childhood best friends and their lovable talking hip-hop and pet kangaroo. It's the family film event of the season. Or so a bunch of families thought when they took their kids to see a raunchy, violent comedy about mob hitmen and a pair of drug smugglers. The talking and hip-hopping kangaroo that was featured so heavily in the film's trailer, the posters, basically all of the promotion is taken, from one really brief dream sequence that the film's producer, Jerry Bruckheimer, insisted on adding to the movie solely for the film's trailer.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will. Obviously, it worked, though. I mean, the film opened #1 at the box office, and it was successful enough to inspire this animated sequel. The resulting film was actually 2 hours of Jerry O'Connell getting anally raped by various Australian wildlife, none of whom ever say a word.
Now, a lot of these examples from about 5 years ago, and you would like to assume that perhaps the movie industry has moved along, they've evolved, perhaps they've even learnt their lesson. No. If I were to say the name Sarah Deming, would that name mean anything to anybody at all? All right, what if I said that crazy woman that sued the makers of the movie Drive because the trailer was misleading? Would that ring a bell, yes?
More familiar with that one.
Okay, here's a look at the trailer that caused the lawsuit.
If I drive for you, you give me a time and a place. I give you a 5-minute window. Anything happens in that 5 minutes and I'm yours, no matter what. I don't sit in while you're running it down. I don't carry a gun. I drive.
You put this kid behind the wheel. There's nothing he can't do.
My husband's coming home.
Where is he?
He's in prison.
There's some guys that want me to do a job for them, and I'm not gonna do it. What's the job? When you get your money, his debt's paid. You never go near his family again. Did you have any idea there'd be a second car?
He said there would be another car to hold us up.
Whose money do I have?
This driver's gotta go, Bernie. He's gotta go.
Do you remember this?
No.
Sarah Deming sued the distributor of Drive, claiming that the trailer sold it as like a Fast and the Furious kind of action movie. And going on to say, this is verbatim from the suit, the film bore very little resemblance to a chase, race, or action film, having very little driving in the motion picture. And if you've seen Drive, you'd probably agree with her. It really doesn't bear any resemblance to a movie like that at all. So had the suit gone to court, she probably had a pretty good chance of winning.
Yeah, luckily for Imagine, the distributor, all she was asking for was the price of a refund, which they happily paid. Meanwhile, the story was picked up by news websites across America, giving Drive a whole lot of publicity, all for the price of one refunded movie ticket.
That's right. But here's the thing. The trailer might explain more than just how far an attention whore will go to get her $15 back. You see, when Drive was originally set to go before the cameras, Hugh Jackman was cast in the lead, not Ryan Gosling. And Neil Marshall, a guy known for directing slocky horror action films like Doomsday, The Descent, and most recently Centurion, was going to direct the film.
And of course, when the actual director came on board, Nicholas Winding Refn, just like saying that name, he came on board, he chucked out a lot of the script and replaced it with these long, kind of beautiful, synth music-driven montage bits.
You can imagine with Hugh Jackman in the lead and an action director at the helm, this would have been a very different movie, and perhaps in the end, they were just cutting a trailer for the film they thought they were making.
So, after all the lies, the subterfuge, the misdirection, what's the moral of this story?
That it fucking works!
This type of trailer crime pays.
Even Kangaroo Jack!
How the hell did they spend $60 million?